Don't go anywhere. This is the Alon Exchange with financial advisors Jay and Brittany Hagy. They are the co-founders of Alon Planning Partners. I am Spike Spangle. Jay and Brittany, it's great to see you.
Great to see you, Spike.
What's on your mind this week?
Yeah.
Oh, I think what's fresh on our mind this week is we get to deal with so many different kinds of folks, right? It's sitting down, talking planning, financial planning, retirement, and we get to sit down with a lot of super intelligent people, very successful in their professions, their careers, doctors, lawyers, attorneys, even small business owners, really, really intelligent folks. But oftentimes, the really intelligent folks are the ones that can make not so smart money decisions. And it's not because of lack of intelligence or understanding.
It's not that at all.
Not at all. It's because we are emotional beings and our dollars are linked to our emotions. They're intertwined. Our dollars are emotional. And that can oftentimes make us have an emotional response when we're making financial decisions instead of a logical one.
So intelligence alone doesn't keep us from making emotional decisions, right? But sometimes we find, and that's why we coach people through this, is planning and awareness of when and how these things are taking place in our life, and when we're making an emotional decision with money and how to be aware of that fact. It really leads to help make smarter money decisions for long term.
And I really say it has nothing to do with your intelligence or
That's
your
right.
IQ.
Right.
You can have the smartest, the greatest brain surgeon in the world. They might be a terrible cook.
Yeah.
You could have the smartest rocket scientist on the planet. They might not know how to change the brakes on their wife's car.
Yeah.
You're an expert at what you do, and whether that's taking care of your family, your job, or manager, or you own your own business, that doesn't necessarily mean you've been taught the tools that you need to get yourself to retirement.
Yeah, one of the folks I work with is a CEO of an engineering firm. He knows the math perfectly. Like he said, I understand the math, but I don't trust myself in the volatility. And so, Jay, I want to work with you because I need someone to help guide me through the emotional volatility that the market brings, that retirement planning itself brings. And so, intelligent guy, he probably knows math better than I do, right? But at the same time, it's not just about intelligence. It's about the emotions that we link to our money.
And that's a perfect example of how most financial mistakes, they're not math problems. They're emotional problems.
That's right.
They're struggles where we can't really see clearly because we're moving out of fear or greed or some kind of emotion that's causing us to make this decision that probably isn't the right one. Which is why we love doing what we do to help folks. Okay, let's even it keel. Let's even it out. And let's see the logical movements here, and let's see the pros and cons of the shifts that you want to make in this moment to help you make better financial decisions in the moment.
Yeah, and the studies that I've read show that your financial habits and behaviors actually begin by age 7.
Right.
Before you even understand about money or know money, it's more about scarcity and abundance, more about how I look at the world and how I see this tool that we call money, right? Am I afraid, or am I afraid I'm going to lose it and I'm fearful? Or do I feel like that it's a tool that there will always be more of it and there's abundance? That really starts young in our childhood, and it's hardwired in us. And so it's hard to move past that once we're adults.
Well, I will then also ask our people of faith out there to be careful, nature or nurture.
Yeah.
Is this part of our
Yeah.
DNA? Can we change? Can we learn better financial habits, even if we're living through scarcity or concern or worry? Because I got to tell you, some of it, when we say the word scarcity, I don't know how to see into the future. So I don't know how long I'm going to live. I don't know how long a spouse is going to live. I don't know how much I'm going to spend 3 months from now. There's a little bit of telepathy and future. I don't know how to guess that far into the future.
I don't think any of us do.
Right.
Clearly, none of us know really how it's all going to unfold. So the key is really just to prepare. Fear whispers sell, greed whispers buy, but wisdom whispers plan. That's what we want to do, is help folks actually plan so that they're in those moments where those emotional responses happen. You've already pre-decided what you're going to do. For example, let's talk about the market and the market cycles that occur. If you are positioned in a way that is long-term solution that's planning for the long term. You're looking not just at right now, you're looking not just at today or this year, but you're looking, okay, this is about long term here. And the market cycles are going to shift. They're going to go up and they're going to go down. When the market does go up, you know how to respond because you've pre-decided. I'm going to hold, or I'm going to go make it to this point, and then I make a switch, or whatever the actual movement will be. You have pre-decided what that's going to look like, and really, your allocation model should reflect that. How you're invested should reflect the desire that you have for your future and actually creating a way to get to where you want to be.
Do you think it's hard sometimes for smart people, and I'm kind of using air quotes here, for smart people to ask for help? I mean, a smart person say, I don't need help with this 401k. I know what I'm doing. I can take care of my family. I make a really, really good living. I shouldn't have to go ask somebody else for help. You can be really smart, but still not understand exactly how the markets work, what diversification means, when you need to rebalance, when you need to tax plan.
And financial literacy doesn't override emotional mistakes, right? It's because these are emotional mistakes that we make in behavioral finance. Part of the reason that we earn our living is because we help navigate those emotional roller coasters with our clients. So it's more than just about a spreadsheet that spreadsheets your way with the data out of not feeling fearful anymore, right? It's really overcoming that with the understanding and knowledge, one, that someone's walking with you that may have walked that path before, right? Or at least help someone else through that path. So because we've helped hundreds of people to and through retirement at this point, we know typically the mistakes, if they're emotional, that are going to be made, right? And we say it's the whole, we're buying high and selling low, right? Because, I'm fearful I'm going to lose everything, I'm going to sell out, like in 2008 when the market hit 54% loss, and then I can't lose anymore, I'm out. And then now, today, we're up to all-time highs again. We have to make sure that we are making this in light of our overarching financial goals and plans, not just how we feel in the moment.
Well, and when you're talking about industry professionals, I mean, most of those roles where folks are really successful, whether it's through small business or whatever their field is, we serve plumbers that are extremely successful. They have built stellar businesses, but I know that their stress levels are high. If you're a doctor, if you're a lawyer, if you're an attorney, if you're a small business owner, your stress levels are high. And stress levels being high does not help rational thinking.
I was going to say, does that help when you're needing to make a decision? Doesn't stress actually, because I believe what happens is your thought process then starts to go through your amygdala up front, and it's kind of scrambling your entire thought process.
It reduces your rational thinking ability, right? When you're stressed, we do not function like we do when we're at rest. That's the whole point. And so, if you're out there listening and you may be thinking, I know most of this stuff that you're talking about. I've got the data. I've got the spreadsheets. I feel like I'm a pretty smart person. We do too. We think you're a smart person. And we're not saying, but the most smart people that I know there are things they do not know. And so that's why, for me, if I'm having a plumbing issue at my house, Brittany just alluded to it, I've got a client list of plumbers that we know and we can trust and say, I don't want my house to flood. Or if I'm rewiring my house, I'm going to use an electrician to help me with that because I don't want my house to burn down. That's what we're saying to you today is we offer that kind of service for things that are emotional with your finances to help you walk through.
Right now, we're going to take a very short break. We're going to continue to talk about behavioral finance biases. You can look these up on the internet. The definitions are amazing, but Jay and Brittany will take you through some examples they've seen themselves. Right now, you can call this phone number down on the bottom of the screen. Get started on your own written financial plan with the team here from Alon Planning Partners. No cost, no obligation to you. More with Jay and Brittany right after this.
In the mountains of Guatemala, women are fighting for a better future for themselves, for their children, and for their communities. At dareformore.org, every purchase has a purpose. From handcrafted jewelry, wallets, and vibrant bags to premium coffee, every item tells a story and changes a life. Your support provides education, safe shelter, and business opportunities for women escaping poverty and violence. Together, we're helping them rewrite their story from survival to success. Shop with purpose. Change a life. Visit dareformore.org today and be part of a movement that empowers women and gives hope to the next generation.
You've worked hard for your money, so it just makes sense that you would like to keep as much of it as possible. At Alon Planning Partners, we can help you avoid common tax mistakes. We'll work with you to minimize your tax burden in an effort to maximize your income in retirement. We will ensure that you have a comprehensive written financial plan. Call the number you see here for your complimentary consultation.
Welcome back to the Alon Exchange with financial advisors Jay and Brittany Hagy. Today, what are your behavioral finance biases? You might not be aware of them. I love going through just a few of these. First, I'd probably say most people who come into your office, they don't want to take losses. Right?
Well, a lot of them,
I don't
right?
want any losses.
Most people don't want to take any losses and they want all the gain. Sure. Right? That's the perfect plan. I don't want any losses, but I want all the gain, right? And so that's not possible, number one. But this loss aversion, is because losses actually hurt us twice as much or feels twice as painful as gains feel good. And that's why most people are like, I don't want anything to do with losses. I don't want to feel the pain at all because I would rather avert the pain than go after something that I want to attain. And that's something that's going to make me feel good, right? I would want to avert the loss. And so I try to let people see, though, as the market cycles are working, and I'll just read this, missing the 10 best market days over the last 20 years would cut your return by 50%. So if I want loss aversion and I miss out on the 10 best days in the market because I got out too soon, over a 20-year period, you would not receive 50%. You would only get half of the gain that you would normally get.
So you're saying somebody sees the next election coming up or the next announcement or the next war overseas and they go, I'm nervous. I don't want to see my accounts go down.
Take me out of the
I'm
market.
afraid of losses. Take me out.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have to guess, when is the market going to go back up?
When's the best time to get back in?
Well, and that's when you start timing the market, which is not a good strategy because timing the market is near impossible to actually know what's going to happen next. So this is where allocation strategy actually matters, ensuring that you are positioned in a way that reflects your tolerance for risk and your actual income planning, ensuring that you aren't losing more than you can afford to lose to sustain your income plan to and through retirement. So, I mean, kind of to your point, Jay, our brains really do hate losing.
Yeah, they do.
More than they love winning.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I can think about it, anytime playing sports, you can go 3 for 4 hitting a bunch of singles. I'll remember that strikeout all day long.
Yeah, we don't like to lose. We don't want to lose. We don't want to lose at all.
How about this one with couples? This has to be hard. You've got the one who thinks they know everything about the market. They look for research basically that supports what they already believe in, what they already think they know. Is that a hard person to talk off the ledge?
If they come in just for confirmation purposes, right? We see that all the time. I already know all of this stuff. Just confirm to me that I'm right. That's confirmation bias. That's being a little bit too puffed up on your emotions and feelings in yourself that you will not hear the facts. And that's what we try to get around for folks to say, that may be because what you've seen before doesn't mean it will always happen the same. And so if you're looking just for a confirmation, if you find enough sources that you walk in, you're going to find confirmation somewhere. If I go to Spike and then I go to Brittany and then I go to the next person to ask, eventually somebody's going to agree with me and confirm what I'm wanting. And so you have to be careful not to just get overconfident and look for confirmation bias because you'll end up making a mistake.
Even when your heart's in the right place, let's say that you work at a company or you feel that you understand an industry, whether it's technology, whether it's oil and gas, whether it's automobile. And if you work there, if you take pride in what you do, you say, I also want to invest there. Or I understand this industry, so I'm going to invest in that. This is an industry I understand, therefore I'm going to load my money into there. Is there an issue there?
We've had people tell us, I don't need diversification because I really believe in this company I'm invested in, right? It's a good company. It's a solid company. And so all my chips are in on this one company. Man, that's a dangerous place to be when you're looking at your full nest egg all in one company. But yeah, that's familiarity bias. You know, when we're this is what we're comfortable with. This is what we know. This is the company I work for. Or maybe Walgreens comes to mind. How they had with their stock, they had the dividends that they paid for over 90 years. Man, I just believe in Walgreens. I think they're just an awesome company. Well, a year and a half ago, they pulled their dividends. They hadn't done that in over 90 years. I mean, so things change, right?
Yeah.
You have to know that the way it was isn't the way it will always be.
And nothing against Walgreens, because we've
No,
seen
not
CVS
at
close
all.
stores across the country. The point, do you also remember Be Kind, Rewind?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we all used to go to Blockbuster Video,
right,
for those
yep.
who remember that.
Yeah.
And you know what? And they were the largest entertainment company in the world.
Absolutely.
And even if you weren't in the entertainment industry, you said, well, I'm going to invest in Blockbuster. How can this go wrong? They're the
Right.
biggest company in the
Look
world.
at them
That's
now.
right.
Look at them now. Now we all watch stuff on our tablets and our
Right,
phones and so
right.
forth. So even when you think you're familiar with something, be careful about loving a stock, because I guarantee you this, it doesn't love you
Yeah,
back.
and confidence is great, but overconfidence can be expensive. And so it can teach us lessons, right?
Yeah.
And so we want to have confidence in what we're doing. We build confident plans for folks, but we can't be overconfident to where we're to the point where all I'm looking for is confirmation. And so I'm so confident in this, it's going to cost me eventually emotionally. That's why we want to step in and say, that may be a bias, and we want to shed a little bit of light around it.
Well,
right?
and we all experience these biases. People we sit down with every day come with these biases. We all have them. How
That's
we
right.
were raised, what we've experienced, our life experience. That doesn't mean you're bad with money. It means you're human. It means you're living in this human experience where we all are. And so we need one another to come alongside and let's work this out together. Let's help you see some areas that you may be blinded to because of your biases, like
That's
the
right.
familiarity bias, or this is what I know, or this is how it was for me growing up, or this is how my parents invested, or this is how my family invests, right? So we can help shed some light to what is actually true, not just what was or how things have been, but what is actually true.
If you've played a musical instrument, or if you've played sports of any kind, or since I know that your kids do, you know that having a coach is better than trying to figure it out by yourself, right?
Oh, absolutely. We all need coaches. We all need folks who are seeing the bigger game plan when we're stuck
Right.
in maybe a bias that we're stuck in, right? I think I got to coach my son's basketball team this year. And so,
How'd they do? What was the record?
Well, we're still playing in the middle of it. We've only had a couple games to this point, right? And so we're doing okay, and we're growing every week. I think we've won one and lost one. So there
Spoken
you go.
just like a coach. Well done.
So like I'm helping them understand not just their position, but where is the team going as a whole? There are 5 players on this team. If you're only thinking about the point guard position or the center position or whatever it may be, you're going to miss the picture of how everybody's supposed to be working together. And so we can't have a bias, just like we talked about familiarity of a stock or whatever it may be. I've got to just be in this company. Well, how's it working with the whole of your plan? And that's what we try to do. So we work as that coach alongside the clients that come in, not because you're not smart enough, not because you're, like Brittany said, you're human, right?
Yeah,
We're
right.
human. We have to have coaches. I have to have Brittany a lot of times tell me when I'm spending too much, right? or vice versa. We have to make sure that we're coaching each other through this, and we help our clients when they walk in to put a comprehensive plan together so that they have the confidence to move forward, not the overconfidence that's going to cost them later down the road.
And if I may ask you, just to give it kind of a fabric of today, I'm sure you have to have folks who come into your offices, who watch the news, who read the news. I'm sure there's different ways to interpret it depending on which
Always.
channels you're watching. And sometimes you have to address what people are seeing out in the media. Is the media helping people stay focused on their own goals?
I'll tell you what one thing the media is doing is evoking fear. It stirs fear within so many people, and that's the last thing that we want to carry. We don't want to have to carry that fear and that worry ring in our hands. which is why we exist, which is why we do what we do, to help. That's why we do these TV shows, to educate and to offer information to help folks realize there is a better way to do this. I don't have to wring my hands and allow the media to dictate how I feel or what I think or what's going on in the world to impact me internally. You can navigate this, and you can do it in a way that sets you up best positioned for the financial future you envision.
And what's exciting to me is that we actually offer you, our listeners right now, you don't have to just worry about your opinion. You don't have to just be concerned, do I know enough? You don't have to guess. Something you can do right now is call the phone number on the bottom of the screen. You can get started on your own plan with the team here from Alon Planning Partners, Jay and Brittany Hagy, financial advisors who can help you be and stay retired. You can either call that phone number, or if you want to, you can open up your phone, because I know it's already in your hand. Open up to the camera, point it at this QR code, and click on it. You can schedule your own appointment right there. More with Jay and Brittany Hagy right after this.
Well, about almost 10 years ago now, Brittany and I came to the realization that the position that we were in, we wanted to expand what we were doing. We were in full-time ministry. And so I realized as I was counseling people a lot, it had a lot to do with finance.
Because finances are a touchy subject. It can be challenging, and that's what we want to do, help people prepare for those unexpecteds.
I had a friend at the time who was in the industry and ran an RIA and decided to, take a sneak peek into what he was doing, and really, loved the model of being able to be independent and fiduciary in our advice and the way that we help people.
And when we decided to begin our own independent firm, we knew there's a better way. There's just a better way to do this. It's beyond transactional interaction. It's this relational component that we knew we want to have. And I believe that each individual and family has to find the right fit for them.
And I think most people that walk in here are looking for that unique touch. Like, independently, how can we help your family succeed?
Welcome back. I am here with financial advisors Jay and Brittany Hagy, co-founders of Alon Planning Partners. You've seen it sitting up here on the desk. Now why don't you get yourself your own copy of The Alon Approach? These are some of the principles that Jay and Brittany put together for you, our viewers. It's very simple. You can call the phone number, and when you set up your appointment, Jay and Brittany will get you a complimentary copy of their book. Hopefully you guys won't mind signing it either as well. It's a great tool. Again, all of this information, we want you to take action, do something with it. But maybe you're trying to figure out, can I be retired? What are the steps do I need to take? What are some of the considerations? A lot of that right here in the book, The Alon Approach, because it is also about people and personalizing.
Well, that book really talks about how a financial plan can help you with the emotions that you walk through in life when it comes to your finances.
It helps stabilize you. I mean, that's the whole point of the oak tree, right? And that's what Alon means. Alon means oak tree. And that's what we've chosen to illustrate this whole concept of comprehensive financial planning. Because when you have the stability of an oak tree, you think of a trunk, kind of the image that's on the front of our book, right? It's this strong trunk. It's solid. It's large, and it's deep rooted. So it's really stable. That's the kind of financial plans that we craft for people when we're looking at all 5 components. And that book, Spike, really breaks down what those 5 components are and why they're important in the bigger picture of your plan.
You know what's interesting, as you say that, if I may play with your own analogy, since we're talking about behavioral finance today, and as we think of the beautiful tree and how strong the roots and the trunk and everything need to be, the leaves are delicate.
That's right.
As part of the finances, what do you think is part of the delicacy of putting together a retirement plan kind of on an annual basis? Is that interest rates? Is that the volatility of the markets? Is that people's drawdown rates? What is something like the leaves on our oak tree here that are somewhat volatile year to year?
And it's all of the above that you just mentioned, but it's anything that creates those emotional storms too, because the leaves wither and die every year and spring back to life if the tree is nurtured and cared for. And so those leaves year to year, whether it's inflation rates or market volatility or the fact that life changes, I lose a spouse, like, something like that, that's major shaking in my life and that causes the leaves to fall off, right? Am I strongly rooted enough in my plan to continue forward, right? And that's what we help with, because we want the plan to be in place that it doesn't make you just react when these things happen, but you can respond with intention, right? You can make decisions based on data that you've already put in front of you, and you're not making hard decisions when you're going through these emotional times, because we're all going to be faced with them, and leaves are going to be shaken from our trees at time, and we have to make sure that we have the root system in place that would produce the new leaves that we need for the next season.
And that's part of what a plan does. It creates real clarity. And that confidence comes not from perfection, building this perfect plan and knowing how everything's going to pan out over the next years. That's unrealistic. But what is realistic is putting together a plan that brings clarity and then produces confidence. That is absolutely attainable, which is why we do what we do.
You know, one thing, I don't know, help me if this analogy works for you. The leaves fall off every single year. You know they're going to fall off every single year. It's a little bit like knowing you got to pay your taxes every single year, right? We lose all of these leaves from the tree every single year.
You better be prepared for it.
But even that, should we be getting emotional about taxes? Taxes are like part of the emotional political conversation right now.
Always, and it's another one of these instances where the media is doing its job because it's trying to get your emotions heightened, right? And so taxes are always going to be an emotional topic because every year it's like, oh, should I do this because this bill that they put in place, or should I wait till next year and do that because of that bill? And it puts me in all this limbo. You should have a plan that takes you through no matter where tax levels go. That's why things like Roth conversions, we talk about them all the time. How do we get more money into tax-free buckets so we don't have to be emotional about taxes going forward in our IRAs and our 401ks? So you have to make sure that you have a plan that keeps you solid through everything that you're going to experience in the waves of life when it comes to emotions.
Brittany, if I can ask you, when you put together a plan, you hand it to a family. You've probably been talking to them 2, 3, 4, 5 different times. What do you think a plan gives to a family? Does it give them just, the steps of a recipe? Does it give them clarity? Does it give them motivation to work on it more? What do you think a plan gives someone?
I think it gives them peace of mind. That's what we experience when folks are in our office. You can almost just see this that occur in their faces and the lightness that happens as we talk through that, because you've taken care of things. You've been responsible in taking care of those things and not having to worry about that. We call that a sleep well at night plan. We want our clients to sleep well at night, knowing that you don't have to stress or worry about what's going on in the markets or what may happen tomorrow if your car breaks down, or where's that money going to come from. No, you have a plan for all of the surprises. Accept that peace of mind and sleep well at night plan.
Jane, Brittany, thank you very much. You can call the phone number down on the bottom of the screen. Set up your time to get started on your own retirement plan. When you do, you get a complimentary copy of the book. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week.